All right, everybody, I'm back with another set of rocks today to cut. Not sure what I have here. I don't think these are all from the Gila Bend mountain range area, like usual. But let's walk through them and see. All right, so this first piece here, that's a nice seam agate. I'm not sure, but that's probably Gila Bend. There's another banded broken nodule. Got quartz on this area, but banding up here. Probably cut that parallel to this face. That's definitely Gila Bend. Hopefully that'll stay together. It's got some fractures in it. Just don't know how deep they go. All right, so this next piece, this is not the usual. So this is a cut piece I found in a bucket of rocks out back. So this is a piece of Kentucky agate, banded agate. It's got that signature kind of orangish yellowish color. Some quartz, lots of fractures, then kind of a purplish colored area. It's got some pitting. And then again, more pitting up here. So it looks like most of these fractures are in this side of the stone and they go that direction. So I might be able to take a slab off of this face and get a cab out of this part right here, which is that nice banding. Look at that. Yeah, definitely gonna have to try. So I'm gonna try to get a slab using my trim saw. It's not real tall, but it's a long stone. I don't know, maybe I'll cut this off first and then run it. Probably won't, probably just try to run it through. But if I can get a decent slab and there's no fractures behind this, that is a good candidate for cabochon. Cool. All right, that's nice, not your typical. Look at that one. All right, what do we got here? Okay, so this is a cut stone from a long time ago. Cut it. Saw all that quartz. I was like, I'm done. But after having cut a lot of these, I see some tubes coming up through this quartz. It's nice banding. Does have a fracture. But when I flip this over, that quartz looks like it's running like right here. The banding is running this way. I might be able to get a slab or two, well, maybe a heel and a slab, or at least a face, if I cut parallel to this on this side of the quartz. So right here, definitely want to try that. See if I can't get a good banded face, because I love the color and the banding in that. And that was a heel bend. And this, probably just a Gila Bend, but it's a banded agate. Well, I'll just try to cut a face and see if there's anything good in there. All right. This is not Gila Bend. This came out of the Verde River. And it's gonna have a plume or a moss. This is what you would call the Bloody Basin plume, I would assume. This is off the Verde River up near Sheep Crossing or Sheep Bridge. So it looks like the moss plume is just this top layer above that white layer, which is probably a calcite. And then it might have some agate down on this section, I don't know. But it's pretty thin. So I'm just gonna cut it in half and see what kind of plumes and or moss we get. Alright. So this, it's hard to see what's going on behind that weathered face. Little banding there. But I can see the banding here for sure. So I'm just gonna cut him down the middle. See if we get a good face with no fractures. Alright. And then this piece here looks like it's got a little bit of banded agate in it. It's gonna be mostly moss, I think. So maybe some banding on the bottom section and moss on the top section. We'll cut him in half and see. Alright, I got a nodule here. It's kind of broken along there. It does have a face here. Lots of fractures. Don't know how deep the fractures go. I'm just gonna cut parallel to this face and see what we get. And then this nodule here, yeah, I didn't see this originally when I grabbed it, but it looks like it's gonna be mostly quartz. But we'll give him a cut on this side, and maybe he's banded on that side, no quartz, who knows? Guessing it'll be quartz though. And this, I believe, is a piece of moss or maybe just a jasper. This is from over near the Baghdad mine in Arizona. It's a copper mine. Now this is not anything to do with the mine. It's just collected from near the mine, and it's usually an orbicular material, but it does have some of this sitting around there too. Very colorful sometimes. So I'm gonna cut that in half and see what the inside looks like. And last but not least, okay, looks like another piece of the one I just showed, something very similar. So probably from around the Baghdad mine area. Can't tell for sure. This banding makes me think it might be Gila Bend. I don't know, I'll have to cut it and see. Alright, so let me get these on the saw, get them cut, and we'll see what's on the inside. I'll be back. Alright everybody, I'm back from the saw. I'm gonna start with this agate from Tennessee. Did have that piece pop out off of one of those fractures, so this is what I'm left with. So at some point I might be able to get another slab off of that. That section from here up looks pretty cool. Any of the fractures, it looks like they all went down into this area that broke off. So that might be pretty solid. So let's take a look at the slab that we're left with. Both sides. We'll start with the side that I wanted to cap this area here. Obviously I got a fracture, bad one going through the stone this way. I've got one that way, and that way, and that way. So I don't know if I can use much of this portion of the stone, but let's see what it looks like on the back. So it's gonna get smaller. It's got some pitting along this edge, but otherwise it looks pretty good. I don't see any fractures until I get over here. I mean, this is nice looking, but I still want this in the cab if I cab this. So I'll lose some of this area due to it getting smaller on the back side, but I have all of this available to me still. So I'm going to do a cab right in here at some point. So that's gorgeous. Definitely going to do a cab. All right, let's go through the rest of these stones. Jeez. All right, first off, we had this nodule that had this quartz showing. So did it still have quartz? It did, and some fractures. Now it does have some really cool looking waterline banding on the bottom of it. But it's got a fracture in it, unfortunately. So it's cool looking. Better than I thought it was gonna be. All right, next up. So this is that one that already had a cut on it. It looked like it might have some tubes in this quartz area. And it had that nice looking banding over here. So I tried cutting behind and in between the banding and the quartz, but get some fractures here. A little fracture down there. And it's a cool looking pattern. Even with those fractures. There's a couple up here too. See them down here and across here. Kind of looks like a fish. All right, well, I figure this is gonna end up in the tumbler, so I decided I'm gonna take another cut and see if there's any tubes in this. And let's see what we ended up with. Well, quartz just kind of came apart. And no tubes. So this is probably just gonna go in the tumbler. Okay, next up, this guy had a phase showing. So I wanted to try to cut it so maybe I could get a full phase. Unfortunately, there's some pretty bad fractures and the backside broke off. And it's right at the tip of that pattern. That fracture goes all the way through the middle of it. That would have been really nice to get that whole thing. Got some cool banding down here, some tubes. All right, well, tumbler. Okay, let's see what this next guy has in store for us. So I had some banding showing here and a little bit down here. Opted to just cut it through the middle. And, all right, well, cool pattern. Unfortunately, it's got some fractures going right through the banding in the middle. If you look at that, it had a perfect six-sided calcite crystal going through it as well. Let's see the other side. You can still see that calcite crystal, and actually there's another one next to it. Right through the banding. It's neat looking. I don't know, I'm gonna make a nice face polish or tumble stone. All right, let's look at that first one from the Verde River that might have some moss or plumes in it. Let's see. All right. It's a cool pattern. That white line through there. It's got different patterns above and below it. So, well, it's a definite bloody basin moss slash plume agate. Nice looking, actually. So I'll probably face polish that. Let's see what this side looks like. It's really cool looking. Not bad. I knew it would have something in it. All right. Next up. All right. Another moss probably. It's pretty cool looking, but it's got a lot of fractures and some pitting in it. Bummer. Oh well, another tumble rock. Let's see what the other one looked like. Okay, yeah, so this one's definitely a Verde River, whereas the other one was from the Baghdad mine area. This one's nicer, actually. There's no fractures, no pitting. That's really nice. All right, very cool. All right, got these 4 left. All right, next one up. This one didn't have much showing here, but some banding on that window. Cut it down the middle. And, all right, pretty nice looking actually. Although it's got some fractures in it. This will make a nice face polish. It's a very cool pattern. Oh, it's a shame it's got those fractures because that's really cool looking. All right. All right, 2 left. And let's look at this next guy. Got the banding showing. Lots of fractures cut behind it. We'll see what we got. Well, still got a fracture in it, unfortunately. But it is really nice looking. And again, this would make a nice face polish. Very cool. All right, 2 left. So I had this odd looking agate. So I cut them just to see if we had any pattern. And I actually came up with a really cool pattern in this one. But again, fractures, although this fracture looks healed. Can't tell for sure. But it's a really nice looking pattern to it. I'll have to check that out. I might slab that up. Okay, so this next one, last guy here, I got cut happy with him. So I'll start with this side. I ended up cutting this, hoping for a good pattern. It's got pattern, but the cool banding was just in a small section. So I left this heel alone. I cut this slab off of that. Now I got a little bigger in the center there, but still fairly small in that pattern. And this end was a little rough. So what I was left with, I was hoping to get that bigger pattern. So ended up cutting this off and got a little bit bigger of a pattern on that end. So I could always cab that to a freeform cab. I'm going to lose that piece, obviously, right here. But that is a nice pattern and no fractures, nice color. What I was left with was this, and I thought, let's just clean it up. So I've got this perfect triangle left, and I'm guessing this would make a really cool tumblestone. Maybe grind off this rind on the top and bottom. So, not bad. I guess I could try to cut more off of this end, but I don't know if I will. It's got some fractures in it. Alright, well that is the end of this video. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, bye.